Hello and welcome to Chesapeake Weekly Home Edition. Well, early voting has officially begun. Now through October 31st, you can vote at almost any Chesapeake Public Library, all of them except for Cuffy, where some work is being done, but lots of options to get that vote in ahead of time.
We've set up 6 satellite locations throughout the city. We have one in each zip code, so we're real proud to be able to serve everybody close to home, keep them all close to home, and do it for 45 days, which is unheard of for around here. Most people are doing it a couple weeks, but we stretched it out thanks to our wonderful Chesapeake libraries partnering with us, and we're able to have 6 satellite locations for the full 45 days.
So for the details on early voting, here's everything you need to know. You can vote any weekday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. or on Saturday, October 24th or Saturday, October 31st from 9 to 5. You don't need a reason to vote early. You don't need to apply. All you have to do is go to any library branch that's convenient for you. Doesn't have to be the one in your zip code. And then, of course, the usual election day voting at your assigned precinct will still be available on Tuesday, November 3rd. Polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now, if you're gonna vote in person, there are a few things that we want you to keep in mind before you head out. So first, be sure to wear your mask and continue to social distance as much as is possible while you're there. We want to keep everyone who comes out early to vote safe and healthy. You'll also want to bring a valid ID. Now that can be your driver's license, your passport, even a utility bill with your name or address on it. You can find all the acceptable IDs listed at elections.virginia.gov. And please remember that you have plenty of time to vote in person, so if you feel sick at all, choose another day to go. And of course, mail-in voting, also known as absentee, is still an option for everybody. You do have to apply for that one. Sorry, you have to apply to receive an absentee ballot. They don't just come out automatically. So if you want to vote by mail, you have to fill out the application. They will send the ballot to you, and then you return it back to the voter registrar's office before the end of Election Day. Learn all of that information at cityofchesapeake.net/vote. Well, with more students heading back into the classrooms, we're going to see a lot more buses on the road. So we want to remember all the tips that we have learned over the past several years with buses on how to keep our kids safe. And of course, the newest thing, starting October 1st, the stop arm cameras will be going live. So what does that mean to you? If you dare to put a child's life at risk by illegally passing a school bus, those cameras will take a picture of your license plate and you will get fined. Let's take a look back at when they debuted in early 2020, where we learned all about these new stop arm cameras.
Well, there are multiple cameras that have been installed on the bus by our vendor. Our vendor is Bus Patrol that we've gone into an agreement with. They do have a box on the side that houses 7 stop arm cameras, and then there are additional cameras inside the bus and on the exterior of the bus that will capture students as they're loading and unloading as part of the legislation. That's just additional documentation if necessary to show that the bus was actively picking up or dropping off students.
It's actually not computer related. We actually record every single school bus stop, and then that goes to a team of reviewers, and they actually watch every clip of video, a live human being. They find the violations, and then it goes to a second level, and those are our processors, and they make sure a violation has actually occurred. They put together the evidence pack. That goes to local law enforcement here in Chesapeake, the city of Chesapeake, the police department here, and they actually are the ones that decide whether it was a violation or not a violation. So it goes through several layers.
We're actually looking at putting them on every bus. Some school divisions just do a portion, but we're going to do all of our buses, and we've gotten some estimates on some revenue that could come from this. Our ultimate hope is that the violations will go down significantly, because we want to make sure our community is aware and our students are safe and that they're paying attention. But the funding that we do receive from the violations will help fund technology and replacement buses for our school division.
And before we leave the topic, let's do a quick reminder about when you're supposed to stop for a school bus. All right, let's break it down. This is in the state of Virginia, keep in mind. So on a 2-lane roadway, all directions must stop when the bus stops. Same for the multi-lane roadways. The only time you don't have to stop is if you're coming the opposite direction of a bus on a divided highway. So that's a highway with a physical barrier, like those concrete barriers or grassy median, something like that. If it's divided and you're going the opposite way, that's the only time you don't have to stop. Always good to err on the side of caution. Look up those rules, study them, make sure you remember them from your driver's license class several decades ago. Really important, because it's a matter of life or death for our kids. Well, there was a beautiful event at City Hall this past weekend, and we wanted to bring you some footage of that. Mayor Rick West and the Chesapeake City Council showed their support for the American Cancer Society with a Luminaria display drive on City Hall grounds. The lanterns honored those who have faced or are facing cancer, and they truly lit up the night on Sunday. Very nice. Another popular charitable event is coming up, and it's the Bra-Ha-Ha, an annual campaign led by Chesapeake Regional Healthcare to support the fight against breast cancer. Things are a little bit different this year, of course, just like they are with everything. If you want to submit a bra, you got to register by October 9th. You can submit a bra the usual way, as you have in past years, or this year, you can also submit digital art. Then, instead of an in-person gala, the award winners will be recognized in a live streaming event on Facebook, and the bras will be displayed at the Dillards in Greenbrier Mall on October 23rd through November 1st. Learn all about this year's Bra-Ha-Ha event at brahaha.org, or learn more by watching a recent episode of Peak Life, which you can find at youtube.com/Chesapeake Television. Chesapeake Regional Healthcare has been a critical partner with the city throughout the COVID-19 response. They're the ones seeing the worst of the worst. If you're headed to the ER with COVID-19, you've got the worst of it. So they've been really important partners with us, and while they're seeing a positive trend, positive as in good, when it comes to their inpatient workload, they're not quite resting on their laurels yet. So here's Reese Jackson, CEO of Chesapeake Regional Healthcare, with more.
The slope of our hospitalizations, the admissions and the discharges, there's always a lag. So, particularly the downward slope. Persons have a long length of stay. This is not an easy disease to combat. So we did see a rather sudden increase of admissions a couple of months ago, about 6 weeks ago, actually. And we are optimistic that we're seeing a downward trend. That is our belief, that we're seeing a downward trend, particularly based on Nancy's numbers. And but we've been very busy at the hospital. It's been very challenging, but we've done very, very well. All of our employees, bring many gifts to the table. The frontline workers have, in particular, have been there for the patients, providing the direct patient care. So across the board, it's been a team effort, and we've responded well to the challenge. But the one thing that is always concerning is the unknown. You may, gut it out at home and be back to normal after a couple of weeks, or maybe less. But what are the long-term, what are the long-term effects? So we don't know the unknown yet, right? Only time will tell if the disease has any lasting effect, and I think that's my biggest concern for any of us, really, is the unknown.
We really, truly appreciate everybody who works at the hospital. They are our heroes on the front line, from doctors and nurses to janitorial staff, admin. Everybody is doing so amazing, and we really appreciate them truly embodying the City That Cares motto. So thank you to everybody who works at Chesapeake Regional. And just because summer is over, happy fall, by the way, does not mean we're nearing the end of our access to fresh local produce. So there are still several options to get your local produce fix. First off, the traditional farmers markets at City Park take place every Wednesday and Saturday from 8 to 1. Then there's also the virtual farmers market option through Healthy Chesapeake, which now has additional pickup locations. So for this one, you can place your order online and pick it up just a few days later at your choice of 5 different pickup sites. Pickup times and ordering deadlines vary depending on which site you choose, so be sure to read all the info at healthychesapeake.org. Really is a great way to get all those fruits and veggies, plus a lot more local goods and yummy food. It's really neat, so I encourage you to check that out at healthychesapeake.org. Okay, really, truly everything is going virtual this year, including the annual Chesapeake Master Gardeners plant sale. Yes, it's virtual, starting this week and running through October 11th. Photos and descriptions of available plants will be posted on the Chesapeake Master Gardeners Facebook page and website. To place your order, you'll just need to fill out a form and provide a personal check or money order. Pickup will be coordinated in the Great Bridge area once your order is confirmed. Fall's actually a really, really great time to do some planting, so I can't wait to get my hands on some of these plants. The cooler weather helps to not stress them out when you put them into the ground, so perfect timing. Find all the info and, of course, the large selection of plants at cmgv.org, or just find Chesapeake Master Gardeners on Facebook. And I cannot leave you without yet another reminder about the census. There's a week left to take it. This is your last chance to take the survey of the decade. Remember that it's thanks to those who responded to the 2010 census that we got to build Heron's Landing for the formerly homeless. It's how we could afford to start full-day kindergarten in several Chesapeake public schools. It's how we've been able to distribute hundreds of life-saving smoke detectors to seniors in our community. All of this coming thanks to the funding that we got, thanks to the people who took the 2010 census. So help us continue with these incredible programs. Help us get that funding right here in Chesapeake where it belongs. We deserve it. Just gotta take the census. Remember, it's completely confidential. The Census Bureau cannot share the details with any other government organization, outside organization, law enforcement. The info's not going anywhere. It's strictly just a head count, so we can determine who is using services here in Chesapeake. Lots of different languages available. If that's something that you need, or perhaps you know of someone who needs a different language, let them know. You can find them all at my2020census.gov. You can also give them a call at 844-330-2020. That's all I've got for this week. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Enjoy this fall weather we're finally getting, and I will see you right back here again next week.
We head to the polls on Election Day, Tuesday, November 3rd. However, all registered voters are eligible to vote absentee if they choose. You must request your ballot by October 23rd to receive it in the mail. Then return it to the voter registrar's office by 7 p.m. on Election Day. Learn more at cityofchesapeake.net/vote.
I wear a mask because I want to keep our businesses open and I want to help stop the spread of this horrible virus.
I wear a face mask for the safety and courtesy of others.
I do not want to be the cause of the continued spread of the COVID-19 virus.
I wear a mask to help everyone stay healthy and to protect our community.
Please wear your mask, wash your hands, and stay 6 feet apart.
The leading cause of kitchen fires is unattended cooking.
Always stand by your pan.
Keep anything flammable like oven mitts or wooden utensils away from the stovetop at all times.
Wear short or tight-fitted sleeves to avoid loose clothing catching fire.
If a fire does start and you can't get it under control, get out and call 911.
Stand by your pan.
It's hurricane season. Do you know your evacuation zone? Visit knowyourzoneva.org and click on Find Your Zone. Just enter your address and the map will zoom to your location. Know where you are so you know when to go. Find your zone today at knowyourzoneva.org.
Mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at 58 years old.
This disease just ravages a family.
It changes your life. If we work together, we can stop this epidemic. Now is the moment.
Contact Bright Focus and learn more.